Hello? All right, y'all hear me? Cool. I'm reacting to this channel, Better. Hold on, let me get it correct. Better Love Movement. So this is just a short, not too long. And I listened to what she's saying and I heard it, and I don't either agree or disagree. I have my own thoughts, but I'm gonna play it, and I wanna read the comments. The comments is what got me. Whew.
Just the other day, I recently had a client, a female client. She asked me, Miss Anita, men, they're not enthralled with women anymore. They don't approach in public. They don't chase women. They're not obsessed with women. They don't see our magic. Why do you think that is? And I responded, because we don't see our own magic. We spend so much time adorning the outside of ourselves that we have lost our ability to have inner magnetism, inner femininity, inner feminine power. Feminine power is not performative. It's not something that you have to put on. So between all of the BBL surgeries and the weaves and the wigs and the makeup and the lip filler, like you all think that is what femininity is. It is something deep down inside of you that every woman, I believe, possesses, but they never really activate, especially now in this modern day world. It is your intuition. It is your ability to nurture things like your babies and your plants and your pets. It is your softness. It is your knowing. And that is actually why men, they don't see that in women anymore. They see, really, if I'm being honest, they see themselves. You all have become a mirror to a man, and not in a good way. Just the other day, I recently had a client, a female client. She asked me, Miss Anita, men.
All right. So I heard her. I understand her point of view. Like I said, I'm not going back and forth or trying to respond to what she said. I want to look at the comments. The comments really, really are what got me. And I'm about to move this over because that's what really hit me. So one person says, thank you for addressing the issues. I want to say older men who see young men and women do things I feel younger men could be taught. Right? So he agreed with her. Let's get to it. Men want a companion, not a competitor. I think that speaks volumes to what's going on in society. I think where more women are more educated, they have their degree, and they're pumping this feminism parade that's going on for the past few years. It's kind of like I could do things, I could do this, I'm about this, right? I'll make more. Every situation is different. But he has a point. Men value peace. Okay. At this point, they're nothing more than a financial liability. She put the sad faces. This is the creator here. She responded to that one. This person says, that's cynical. God says otherwise. I'm a virtuous, godly lady. See, that's another thing that be really irking me. When people always try to throw this God thing on you to control you, by the way. It's the only reason why they do it. And I stand on that. They throw it out there. Oh, well, God wants this and God wants that. It's like, you only know what God wants other people to do. Go show me what God says that women should be doing. Bet you they can't tell you that. But whatever. That's a whole nother topic. Like we could talk about that and go on that for a while. Because a person says, yeah, do you know what a godly woman is? And they went back and forth. Let's see if they went back and forth. Women these days have their own money and don't need or want a man. I always choose peace and tranquility over anything. It's not necessarily in the claiming or saying, but in the doing, anybody can lay claim to anything or anyone. Okay, they go back. We don't chase chaos, we attract what brings peace. This man says, after 2 divorces, I realized that peace of mind when I come home is more important than anything. So this man tried 2 times, right? Now, we don't know the ins and outs of that situation, either situation. He was married twice. They didn't work out twice. Honestly, it could be him. Let's be for real. Or her. Could be him or her. You don't know. 2 divorces? It's a lot. Hopefully they didn't get cleaned out. What state did they get married in? Because 1 divorce and they take half. I mean, then he read up. He must be rich. He talking about football. Men be in love, women be in business. And somebody said exactly. Somebody said so true. That is what it's about. Another person said spot on. Oh, no lies. Jeez. So I think the sentiment is pretty much the same across the board. A lot of men don't feel valued nowadays. A lot of men feel like they're like, look, I have to provide all of this, I have to pay all the bills, and then I still get disrespected, or I'm still not loved. I mean, I even heard men getting married with women and women stop having sex with them. That's crazy. So no more physical interaction between us. It's just the bills are paid, the house is paid for. You know, Jesus. This person says whole lot of attitude, small amount of gratitude, and the creator responded, "Yikes, yikes." She didn't have a rebuttal, just yikes. Person said he is correct. I second this. I was engaged with a lady. We were actually supposed to be married January this year, but her attitude shifted tremendously. She got meaner. She got meaner with little to no gratitude. I could not handle that. I'm not waking up to an ungrateful person every day. I told her about it, but in her arrogance, she did not see the problem. I'm single in a better and I am single and in a better peace of mind today. Damn. So apparently he was trying. He went to get. He got engaged. He proposed to this woman, tried to start a life with her, but something happened. And again, we don't know what the ins and outs of these situations. I would want to hear her side. Honestly, I just can't take one side. But it's just like story after story after story after story after story. One person says she is correct. As a man, I concur. Chasing women is the biggest waste of time. Life is short. Every moment counts. Mm. Yeah, a lot of these comments. What do you think? Do you approach women out in the streets? I don't. I haven't done that well, one, I don't date in America. That's one. That's one. And I my experiences dating in Europe and dating in Africa, I can't go back. The Pandora's box has been opened. People get mad when I say this, but when I dated in Europe, women pay for dates. Get mad, scream and holler, hoot and holler, do whatever you want. Time and time again, when I went out on dates with women while I was living in Europe, they either offered me gas money for driving to pick them up. I decline. Lots of times they say, hey, do you want me to pay for this and then you pay for the next one? Or you pay for the last one, I can pay for this one. It's happened multiple times. And I could go on and on. I've had nothing but really smooth dating experiences. Even if the woman wasn't interested, it wasn't a tug of war. It wasn't friction, it wasn't animosity. I wasn't her type. She wasn't my type. We still had a good time on whatever activity or event we did. Hey, and we went our separate ways. I think that could happen here in America. I just think that people are putting these expectations on things that they shouldn't be. You agree to go out with somebody, you know, whether or not they have to pay for everything from the first meet, that's subjective, It depends on what y'all doing. If y'all doing something, that's why it was like it was a big thing where people were like, oh, why can't you go for a walk in the park or have some coffee? You don't even know if you like the person. Why are you spending $100, $150 just to be out? You could do something else with that money, right? And that's where I think that trend, that narration, it was a whole big thing. I don't do these cheap dates, and I seen the whole post. They don't do what Chipotle, McDonald's, um, Cheesecake Factory. I love Cheesecake Factory. In fact, I want to have some Cheesecake Factory this weekend. Yes, Thanksgiving weekend. I'm gonna have Cheesecake Factory. I don't want no turkey. Go cry to whoever you want to cry with. That's my life. Now thinking about it, I want some Cheesecake Factory. Cheesecake Factory is actually pretty good. But again, women were starting to state the places they wouldn't go, and I never had that in Europe. I never had a woman in Europe say, "Oh, I don't want to go here," or "I can't go here." They not only did they suggest places, they even was like, "Oh no, this place isn't too expensive and it's nice and the food is good." I'm like, "Oh wow." So it wasn't about the money there. So why is it about the money here in the United States? You know, we got to ask these questions and we got to really think about it, not argue about it, not bash each other about it. What is going on with the dating scene in the United States of America? Let me know what you think. Peace.